Shut the Front Door, we saw winning there at Newbury. He doesn't run in the race. JP McManus said in Adair on Sunday night he thinks too much of the horse. And Fickle Fortune, no media suggested, will not go for the race, but that remains to be seen. We'll know tomorrow morning. Willie, it'd be rude not to start with you. You have won the race 6 times after all, and you've quite a few contenders here.
Well, Champagne Fever is in good order. He did a lovely bit of work yesterday. Very pleased with him. That's his last bit of work. Looking at his action winning in Fairyhouse, you'd think that he won't handle better ground that we'll have in Cheltenham. However, I thought that about Miguel Dagenet when I brought him over, and he lengthened his action lovely. Plus the fact that Tone Amara tells me he goes well on good ground. He won his point-to-point on good ground. I don't know what he beat that day, but this fellow has a big engine anyhow. Moscow Mannion does nothing wrong. I think he could, he'll be involved at the end of the day. Just looking down through the other runners here, Peak Sue won well here, surprised me. Hopefully he can improve as much again. That puts him in with a chance. And I think it's a much more open bumper this year than we've seen before. I'm just hoping one of my two can do it. Champagne Fever is going well.
Okay. Davy, you probably will end up riding 2 of the best bumper horses in Ireland next year, Don Cossack and Una 2. You'll be hoping they'll tick along nicely this year. They won't go to Cheltenham though, so if you had a ride in this race, who would you like?
It's very difficult. The only horse maybe I could suggest maybe at a big price would be Paul Nicholls' horse, the Village Vic. He's a point-to-point winner. He's a bumper winner in England, or Hobbs. Sorry. He's a bumper winner. Yeah, he's an improver for me, and you'll be looking for an improver. So, not having a liking for any particular one. I think just maybe favour the likes of him at a big price.
Okay, the Village Vic.
The Village Vic.
He finished third there to Gervais Chambertin and to shut the front door. Tom, can't imagine this race to get your juices flowing.
I'm English, I don't do bumpers. For me, I like the Tizard horse. I'm a bit scared to say it because Bordy is going to lay into me, but I thought Royal Guardsman was quite impressive at Ascot. He's by King's Theatre. He blew out at Aintree last year, but he was impressive that day at Ascot. I think he'll go well, but as I say, bumpers are not really my thing.
Okay, thank you. Paddy, is this going to be a bookmaker's benefit, do you think? 8 to 1 the field?
I'd say it will be a bookmaker's benefit. There's no standout horse. It's wide open. I mean, it looks a race. You get a great spread of money. I'd be disappointed if we didn't get a result. I think Jessica Harrington's horse that won in Leopardstown last Sunday, if he went, he'd be a big runner. He's out of a real good family. They were all real good bumper horses. Gennari, Jetson, a couple of more of them. They're just a real good family. I'd agree with Davy with Village Vic. I thought that was probably the best bumper I've seen in England all year. Shut the Front Door looks a proper horse. He doesn't go, but your man isn't a million miles behind him. Just one at a price. I think Peter Bowen has a horse that he's after winning 4 bumpers there. Sir Johnson or something. Like the horse of Tizards is 8 to 1, and he's 4 or 5 lengths to find with Sir Johnson. So he's 20s, like, so just in terms of value, maybe him, but it's wide open, like.
Okay, thanks, Paddy. Anthony, Royal Guardsman, plenty of talk about him before he disappointed, but he looked much better there. Is he a contender, a big contender?
I think he probably is. I mean, it used to be the preserve of the Irish, the champion bumper, and I'm enjoying the fact that normally I come to these previews and it's the Irish are going to win with this and this, and it doesn't sound as strong this year, which the last 2 champion bumpers have been won by Q-Card and Cheltenham, both trained in England, and it's now not such a strange thing to tip up an English horse for this race. Royal Guardsman, I think, is one of the best that's about. I suppose I've got to mention John Ferguson's horse, New Year's Eve, and I would be tipping it if he wasn't by Motivator, and I'm just not sure about Motivator coming up the hill. But
I'm not sure about Motivator about doing anything. No. Not to mind coming up the hill.
That's my negative on New Year's Eve. If Ferguson was going to run population in this, I'd fancy that. But he's going to take him to Aintree for the champion bumper instead. So that's a tip in itself, that he thinks that perhaps New Year's Eve is his best prospect. And it wouldn't surprise me if Ferguson gets a winner at Cheltenham. I mean, it might be. You never know. But I think, Davey, I'm with you on the Motivator front. But I think Royal Guardsman will put up a good show. I have been mostly impressed by Moscow Mannion. I think he's a proper horse.
Brian Hamilton, ridden by Declan Lavery, of course, is attached to Willie Mullins Yard. Now, Willie is also already given a good mention to Alley Guard for the 4-miler on Wednesday. Before we leave Wednesday alone, Davy, 4 commanders in the 4-miler. Will he run?
Doesn't run. He's out for the rest of the year, unfortunately.
Him and Fist of Fury?
Oh, sorry, I apologise. Sorry, I'm mixed up. 4 Commanders does run, and Nina rides him. Wonderful jumper. He's a grade 2 place over 3 miles, and the extra mile will definitely suit him, and he's in good order.
So Nina Carby, a notable booking for 4 commanders in the 4-miler, yep?
As far as I know, she schooled him last week and she said she's riding him, yeah.
Okay, that's quite significant, thank you. And Anthony, your nap of the entire meeting runs on Wednesday, isn't that correct?
In that 4-miler, I think T for 3. Oh, you're going to be the other one as well. I've got 2.
All right.
But they're both that day.
Yeah, but
T for 3, I
Tom
fancy
likes
a
2
lot
bets in the same race, so that's fine.
I'll do T for 3 in the 4-miler for Rebecca Curtis. And they're very bullish. That is the top-rated horse in the race, and yet because he's from a smaller yard, he's still about 9-1, 10-1 for the race. No, yeah, you were talking about my vendor for the Fred Winter. It's the worst-kept secret in racing, and he's not a great price anymore. You want to get him to give you a good odds on vendor tonight, because that will win. That will win, all right? It's just a steering job. He can come round via Cleve Hill and still win. All right, that's going to win the Fred Winter.
So again, folks, Anthony Bromley, who rides work in Alan King's, says Vindor will win the Fred Winter 7-2. I think generally, Paddy, I think about 7-2. No, that's just generally. I mean, you go better than that later on, but 7-2 generally, Vindor and the Fred Winter.